Hey everyone, welcome to the road to Avengers Doomsday. I'm Jonathan, and every single month I'm going back through the MCU, revisiting each movie and showing you how to make custom LEGO minifigures from every single Marvel film leading up to the culmination in Avengers Doomsday. We've made it a long way so far, so be sure to hit like and subscribe, and let's get into today's movie starting now. The road to Avengers Doomsday has led us right here to Spider-Man Far From Home. Now, this was really fun to revisit because I really haven't done any customs from this movie since way back when the movie came out. It was actually one of the first showcase-style videos I ever did on my channel, so revisiting it here today has been a lot of fun, and I'm really excited to share it all with you. So be sure to hit like and subscribe down below, and let's get into making the customs. So we start off the movie in Mexico with Nick Fury and Maria Hill, except they're not Nick Fury and Maria Hill, but that being said, we're going to use the modern Nick Fury here, which actually debuted back in the Far From Home sets back in 2019, and Maria Hill, I'm using the torso, head, and hair combo from the Spider-Man Far From Home accessory pack from the LEGO store, although all of those pieces were available elsewhere, and I just switched out black legs since her outfit is entirely black in this movie. It's pretty sweet that we meet Mysterio right off the bat in this movie, and honestly, the Mysterio we got in the Spider-Man No Way Home set, the 4+ set ironically, is the best version of the figure we've gotten for his MCU representation. The version that came in the actual Far From Home sets was based off concept art, so the torso color and detailing wasn't right, so I'm not making any upgrades or changes from this version that you see here from the No Way Home line of sets. So the first Spider-Man suit we see in the film is the Iron Spider suit, which he briefly wears at Aunt May's Feast fundraiser, and the Iron Spider we got back in 2018 from Infinity War is the best representation of this, and truthfully the only one as of this video. And, you know, there's always the debate. Do you switch out the dual molded legs or go for the printed ones here? I typically stick with the printed ones. I didn't really like them at the time, but they have aged on me quite a bit. The real bummer is from the integrated suit from No Way Home, you've got the gold detailing on there, but of course those are black and not blue, so those would be perfect, but I'm going to stick with the original legs, although you could switch them out for the dual molded legs if you had them and wanted to. Alright, also at Feast, we see Happy Hogan and Aunt May. Now, both of these are pretty simple. It is insane that Happy Hogan that we got back in the sets just had, like, a regular head. I think the same head they ended up using on Shang-Chi, if memory serves correctly, so that was terrible. So I gave him the black receding hair here, and then the face from Kraven the Hunter, but it was also used on, like, some DC henchmen and stuff like that. I think Vic Hoskins, too, if I'm not mistaken, so lots of, options there. The torso is the same from Happy, but it's just a regular suit that was used in lots of places. For Aunt May, the head comes from Janice from the Friends the TV series, with long brown hair, these tan arms, and the torso and legs from the LEGO Women of NASA set. Now we're gonna go ahead and make Peter's classmates, which were really fun to make because they're kind of casual but vacation-y outfits at the same time. For Betty, I used black legs and the torso from Hermione from LEGO Dimensions, with the head from Rey from Star Wars, and this really cool blonde piece with a blue headband that was used on Supergirl in the LEGO DC Supergirls sets. For Ned, this one was awesome. The head and hands come from Ned from the Far From Home accessory pack, although we've also gotten Ned more recently in the No Way Home Final Battle set, but the torso is just this cool Hawaiian shirt torso from LEGO City with dark blue legs and the fedora from the black and white detective guy from the CMF series, which in my opinion makes this figure perfect. Alright, up next we've got Brad and MJ. For MJ, I used black legs with the torso from Claire Dearing from Jurassic World. You'll notice that I used the eraser method to take some printing off the sides. I did that for a custom a long time ago, I can't even remember what or who, and, you know, the torso has been destroyed in that way since, but you don't have to do that, of course, for this. It's just the way my torso exists now. Then, of course, the hands, head, and hair all come from MJ from other MCU sets, like the No Way Home Final Battle. Then for Brad, I used the torso and legs from, man, I cannot remember the character's name, but he came in the Jurassic World T-Rex fossil set. I think that works well, especially because Brad has like a necklace on in this movie. Then, ironically also from Jurassic World, the hair, head, and hands all come from Dr. Wu. I do think that this makes Brad look a little bit older than he comes off in the movie, but that smirk is kind of like the perfect Riz face for his character in the movie, so we'll go ahead and use it. And finally, that brings us to Flash Thompson, and the torso I used for him actually comes from America Chavez from Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness, which I'm not sure if this is my favorite choice for this torso, but I did think that it had like a lot of bling and flash to it, no pun intended, that I think works really well. Then, of course, the head, and I picked hands to match, but the head comes from Darth Dev from Star Wars Rebuild the Galaxy, because the actor that voices Darth Dev is the actor that plays Flash in the movies, and I actually think it works pretty well. So, of course, black legs and the long black hair here will finish out the figure. And finally, we've got the teachers, Mr. Dell and Mr. Harrington. Mr. Dell was pretty easy to make. I used the head from Falcon from Infinity War with this torso from Franklin from Jurassic World with matching hands and black legs. Then for Mr. Harrington, I used this torso that came in the Speed Racer sets back in the day. Thankfully not too expensive to just find that piece though. Then gray legs, the hat from the Newsboy from the LEGO CMF series, and the head comes from Sirius Black. Now, of course, he does have those big glasses in the film with the brown beard, but unfortunately there is no LEGO piece that has both of those, that being a brown beard and glasses, so I went more for the brown beard, and the Sirius Black head here I think works pretty well. Okay, up next we have Hydro Man, who actually did get his own minifig back in the Far From Home wave of sets, but we should also talk about the Elementals, right? Because we did get a Molten Man brick-built set back in the day, and we never really got a quote-unquote Sandman figure, like the Sand figure at the beginning of this film, but of course Sandman could just work from No Way Home if you wanted to use that. So those are options to get those builds. And then of course for Hydro Man, I really like this shade of blue, so I just made sure that the arms, legs, and head matched that with the Hydro Man head and torso from the old sets. Alright, here we have Casual Peter Parker. This is just the regular Far From Home figure. I think that this figure worked out really well. I liked having the mask pulled up with the eyes on there. Of course, the head underneath doesn't look exactly like Tom Holland. I typically go for the Marty McFly head, or honestly, really, the best look is the CMF Zombie Hunter version, but for simplicity, we'll go ahead and keep this head on there so that it's one less piece you have to source if you want to make all of these exactly as you see them, and we'll keep moving on. Now that brings us to the Night Monkey suit, which once again, we got a pretty darn good figure for back in 2019 with this wave of sets. But what I would change out is adding black arms and hands, as well as just a regular black hip piece. Yes, that sacrifices printing, but it does kind of help emphasize the belt that's printed on the torso, and I think it actually makes the gray on the legs stand out more. And in the film, the entire suit is black, but I think that the torso being gray here actually does work in this one case because it kind of helps accent the black of the arms and the legs once we actually make the custom. So overall, I like this one quite a bit and think it turned out pretty good. During the big Mysterio illusion sequence, we actually see the previous Spider-Man suits, so we'll go ahead and include them here. That, of course, would lend us to use the Spider-Man that comes in the Sanctum Sanctorum. Now, in the 2025 Civil War airport battle, we get this torso and head with the arm printing, but we don't get the dual-molded legs with the printing on them, so I would recommend using the version from the Sanctum for the most detail possible. Over here on the right, we've got the old tried and true homemade Spider-Man suit, which I've been using for ages. So this uses these dual molded legs. I believe the character's name is Amy from The Big Bang Theory. When we lift it up, we've got this hoodie from the Devil Kid from the CMF series. Then, of course, we've got these, I don't know what color this is, like sand blue or something, and dark red arms, just coming from various places. The head comes from Scarlet Spider from Mighty Micros, and the dark red hood comes from, I believe, a Ninjago accessory pack years ago, although I do believe it's come in one or two more places as well. Okay, here we've got Peter with the Edith glasses. He's just got the regular brown hair here with the perfect head from Han Solo from Star Wars Solo Story. Yeah, that name was something else, wasn't it? Anyways, those goggles on that head work perfect for the Edith glasses in these films, or this film rather. My head is in all kinds of places today, I'll tell you. The torso is flipped around, but this is from Ethan Hunt from Mission Impossible from LEGO Dimensions with those amazing dual molded short sleeve arms and black legs. And here we have the black and red suit that he makes for himself for the final battle, which looks so good and is aged so well all these years later. This was available in a poly bag as well as the Far From Home 4+ set with Mysterio, which was awesome to get those dual molded legs with printing on them, no less. And the big upgrade I made here is actually taking the original arms from the MCU Spider-Man, of which I had several because I had all the sets and multiples of some of them, but I took a black Sharpie over the blue parts to help make it look black and red to match along with this torso and leg combo. Okay, here we have Mysterio, or Quentin Beck rather, in his CGI outfit, which I like quite a bit. Of course, the torso and legs come from power miners, which I think works pretty well. Honestly, I think even the back of the torso might be better than the front, but I'll leave that up to you guys to decide. The head was used on several different Star Wars troopers, as well as ACU troopers from Jurassic World, with that brown hair, and of course, that classic bubble from Sandy from SpongeBob. At the end of the film, of course, we see Jonah Jameson, played again by J.K. Simmons, quite possibly the greatest cast person in any comic book movie. Certainly top 5. Anyways, we don't really see his legs because he's at a news desk, but I just used black legs there. Then, of course, this torso, which came from Harry Potter. It is a little more casual than JJ's wearing in the film. He's just wearing a blue blazer with a button-down shirt, but this is the closest we can get to that color combo. Then, of course, the head comes from Jameson from the Daily Bugle, with the bald hairpiece from Alfred from the Lego Batman movie. And finally, we've got Talos, aka Nick Fury, and this one's pretty simple. You just need the Talos figure from the Captain Marvel set for the headpiece, the head, and of course those green hands, and then the body of Nick Fury. If you have 2, you could rinse and repeat this for Maria Hill and call it a day. Alright guys, let me know what you thought of these customs down below, and be sure to hit like and subscribe so you don't miss out on any of the videos coming in this series, because now we'll be moving past the Infinity Saga and into some of the more recent movies, which will be fun to make customs from since we haven't revisited those since they came out. So let's get right into that next month, and I'll see you right back here at Mini Superheroes Today.